For decades, Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra appeared inseparable, two giants of entertainment whose friendship seemed as permanent as the spotlight that followed them. Together, they ruled Las Vegas nights, laughed through performances, and embodied effortless cool as the core of the Rat Pack. To fans, their bond looked unbreakable, almost brotherly. Yet behind the glamour, something quietly fractured. Without announcements or explanations, Dean Martin suddenly stepped away, cutting Frank Sinatra out of his life completely. Rumors swirled for years, but the truth stayed buried, until long after Dean's death, when the painful reason finally came into focus. Dean Martin's journey had never been easy. Born Dino Paul Crescetti in 1917 to Italian immigrant parents in Ohio, he grew up in hardship, learning English late and fighting early, sometimes literally. As a teenager, he boxed bare-knuckled just to survive, carrying physical scars that mirrored his tough upbringing. But through every struggle, one gift never left him: his voice. Singing under the name Dino Martini, he slowly worked his way through clubs until advice from a bandleader led him to change his name forever. By the mid-1940s, Dean Martin was chasing stardom in New York, and fate intervened when he met Jerry Lewis. Their chaotic chemistry transformed comedy, making them national sensations. Yet success brought strain, and by 1956 their partnership ended, freeing Dean to finally step into his own. That freedom led him to Frank Sinatra. Their friendship deepened in the late 1950s, forming the heart of what the world would call the Rat Pack. Onstage, they joked, teased, and improvised with fearless charm. Offstage, they quietly stood against segregation, refusing to perform where others were excluded. It was brotherhood wrapped in tuxedos and martinis, and for a time, it defined an era. But beneath Dean's carefree image lived a deeply private man whose true devotion was his family, especially his son, Dean Paul Dino Martin. In 1986, Dino's life ended in a tragic plane crash during a training flight, shattering Dean Martin completely. The laughter vanished, the light dimmed, and grief hollowed him out. Sinatra tried to pull him back into performing, believing work might heal the wound, but it only exposed Dean's pain. After a disastrous show, Dean walked away without a word, retreating into silence and solitude. He was done pretending. Yet the final break between Dean and Frank traced back even earlier, to June 7, 1966, Dean's 49th birthday at the Polo Lounge in Beverly Hills. What began as a celebration unraveled into chaos after a confrontation with a fellow patron escalated. Accounts differed, but the outcome was clear. A man lay unconscious with a fractured skull, and Sinatra vanished before police arrived. Though no charges were filed, the incident disturbed Dean deeply. He returned home shaken, telling his daughter that Frank had lost control. For Dean Martin, that night crystallized everything he no longer wanted. He was gentle offstage, private, and uncomfortable with violence and excess. Sinatra thrived on impulse and confrontation. The friendship didn't explode, it simply faded. Calls went unanswered. Doors quietly closed. Dean carried the weight of that night for the rest of his life, understanding that even legends sometimes have to walk away, because beneath the glitter, the cracks were always there.